Hey folks, Chris is here. I spent the last 6 hours... Well, let me back up. Today I'm recording on a Microsoft LifeCam Cinema HD 720p camera, webcam, sorry. Spent the last 6 hours trying to get it to play nice. I don't like it. I think it's a big piece of shit. This is what you're seeing right now is the best I've been able to pull off with it in this room. And I'm still not satisfied with it versus my phone. I'm not going to do comparisons or none of that bullshit. I bought it at Fry's. Well, I was looking on the online and everyone says get the Logitech C920. And Best Buy locally has it, so I'm going to stop by tomorrow and pick one up and return this one, at least after I confirm that the other one actually is better or something. But yeah, I just wanted to make a video, not to bitch about that, but okay, I wanted to bitch about that too, but I wanted to share the changes I did and what I did in order to get this thing running the way I wanted it to run, to look the way it does. I'm not going to go into too many details, but it might be able to help someone. For the record, do not buy the LifeCam. I don't have anything to recommend. I don't really know, but just don't buy this one, okay? They suck. The driver. Sorry, I'll stop bitching now. Let's just get back to the desktop, huh? Okay, so what did I do to get this running into my open broadcast software? Well, it seems like there is an option to just use the device as a actual device, the whole add video capture device, and it did seem to work. I didn't have the ability, I just didn't have the time really to see if it stays synchronized for, let's say, an hour or two, because that was the problem I was having with the phone, is this was not syncing. So whether or not it works, I don't know, but the problem here was that the ability to apply filters does not exist, so I wanted to go back to VLC. And I did that. You can see me here. And essentially it's about the same thing as what I did with my phone earlier in a previous video anyways. The only real difference is that this is now, instead of a network stream, it's a capture device. And I'm going to show you what I did. I figured out settings that had to be done in a way to simplify it in the end. So I'll stop this. So I'm going to disappear. Let me turn that off. Okay. Well, let me take one step back. If you install the Microsoft software, uninstall it. It all sucks. All of it. Just the LifeCam software, whatever the hell it's called. Go into your program manager doodad and remove it wherever the hell it is. Mine's already not here. And then let Windows Update install it on its own. That's the only way you'll get the MJPEG thing. So once you did that, you can go into your media and VLC, open capture device. Keep this direct show. In fact, here, let me close this out completely just to make sure we're not seeing non-defaults. And I apologize for Japanese. Actually, I don't, but it happens. I don't know why I opened that. Okay, media, open capture device. We keep this default direct show. The video device name is whatever your device. In this case, it was my piece of shit LifeCam. The audio device, I disabled it. I'm not using it. In fact, I disabled it completely from the device manager because I don't want it to even, and no, I didn't. There, it's disabled now. I don't want that even remotely risking interfering with my audio latency or anything else. So, for my case, audio none. Video size you don't have to worry about because it'll let you, well, you'll see. Click on advanced options. We got to change this guy to 16:9 and tick device properties, and that's it. And hit OK. Now the thing is, if you click on advanced options again, it's going to reset it. So you'd have to do this over again each time. So just click, set it once, leave it alone, click show me more options. I found that, a few of these tweaks probably are going to improve my phone if I was to use it again because, well, I figured out a few, tweaks that helped. In this case, my frame rate was much smoother and normal when I did it under 50 milliseconds. Not 0, not 1, not 25, but for me it was 50. Or higher, I guess. You can go higher if you want. The higher it is, the more delay you're going to end up with. And that's it for the moment. And I'll show you what you can do with that in a moment. Let me just show you what happens when I hit play. It's going to pop up the driver software. And mine's completely in Japanese because it's a Japanese operating system. But it's only got 2 tabs. Your generic stuff, your brightness, etc. I'm not even going to fuck with any of this stuff because any changes that can add or delay or produce latency will unsynchronize my voice, so I don't want to do that. One thing worth noting, this little guy right here that affects the lighting, the way it lights stuff, is been the bane of my existence today. Because -4 is where I need it to be to get about where I want with the light, but -6 is where it actually has good frame rate and below. Anything higher than that, it starts getting lower frame rate, and any higher than this -4 becomes unbearable, intolerable, and it sucks. So this is my momentary compromise for the day. So when the screen pops up, it'll have saved your settings every time so you don't ever have to redo them again once you've got where you want it, but you can't access it normally otherwise. So hit OK, and then you'll get this, and this is a critical one here. You need to go to MJPEG here, and that'll give you 30 frames per second. This should be defaulted to 720. It might not, I don't know. Mine does. And then just hit OK, and boom. There's your direct show, and there's me. Ah! I even turn myself back on. I guess I'm going to keep that off for the moment. So, now the thing is that if you want to adjust any settings with the driver, you can add the actual device into Open Beta. Why do I keep saying Open Beta? Open Broadcast Software, and just keep it off. What it lets you do, and there might be a way to do it in VLC. I don't know. I have not seen the option, and I'm not willing to really put a lot of effort into it. So I double clicked on that, and where my device is, I got configure. Look familiar? Yeah, it's the same configuration that you get every time you try and start the capture device in VLC. So that's one way to access it and manipulate it in real time, because if you change anything there, it'll reflect here immediately as well. So I'm going to hit stop, and before I close anything out, I'm going to go back into Open Capture Device. It still saved my settings because I haven't closed the program. You'd have to do this whole set of steps every single time unless you make a shortcut for it. And the way I do the shortcut is, let's see, here's Notepad. You need to copy this URL, this guy, spacebar, and this row. So all that mess, but it's too long at the moment. You need to find, actually before that, where your device is, you need to put these in quotes. That was the most stupid, long, difficult thing to figure out for me. I don't, it's just, okay, what? And then a lot of these we can actually remove. So we want the aspect ratio, but then all these things that were show up The chroma and FPS, we never even changed them, so delete them. Keep show config, because that's the one that'll pop those menus up. And all this stuff looks like just defaults up until live caching. That's the buffer. So we got that. Next, I'm going to, and this is basically going to become our shortcut. Take your VLC icon, right click it, drag it to the desktop, create a shortcut. Go to properties. Now you got this. Hit spacebar, copy this mess, put it in there, and okay. And now, when you open it, it will have maintained those same settings again without having to mess with it. It'll still pop this guy up because we had that config option, and I think you have to do it because if you don't, it may not work. Like it'll try and default to something else and not, yeah. So you would hit OK, and you have to do that again. And that's it, and then boom, you're good to go. And within Open Broadcast Software, same deal. You just create a window capture that captures that, and offset plus 1280 by 720 if that's what you're doing. So we're only capturing the video, blah blah blah. Everything is the same. The only difference here, I'm going to turn that on and that off because now I don't need that. I just totally did. Actually, hold on. I don't remember if I had any other tweaks. There we go. That's the one I want. I'm just going to toss you down here. There. Now we're back in business. I'm going to get rid of you. I don't need it anymore. I showed you what to do. Now, the only thing you have to remember to do is any changes you make like this, if you switch to a new camera or if you're adjusting settings within it, you're going to most likely need to readjust your audio offset on the microphone. And advanced options, the global, will never change as long as you're never fucking around with your audio stuff. If we're using like the rerouting stuff and things, if I mess with the plugins, the VST plugins, it might increase or decrease my latency. That would affect the desktop audio. Otherwise, you don't need to worry about this. This will stay constant as long as the rest is constant, but your camera will be different most likely, and you'll have to find your new mic offset. And I'll maybe link it below. But I already made a video on how to sync this up. But long story short, record a video with clapping into the mic where you can see it on the video camera. Take that clip and load it up into any video editing program or something where you can see where your hands, the frame that, like the moment your hands come together, and then compare the distance from that point to where the sound itself actually starts. And if the sound is slower, then you have to subtract that much amount from the value you currently have in here. And if it's too fast, well, then the audio would happen before your clap. You've got to add it. In other words, this number is going to get smaller, closer to 0 or even positive, depending on whatever. So, you just got to remember to do that. All right, I'm just going to leave it at that. I do not like this camera. I got a lot of issues with a lot of things. The phone thing has really been working for me. The problem is just it gets my phone really hot and I can't use it at the same time when I'm actually recording. And if I'm recording like all day long, well, it conflicts. So it's like I need something. But for the price, this thing was absolutely not worth it whatsoever. I'm going to be happy to replace it real fast tomorrow. My name is Necrosis, and that's my bit. Bye.